What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to another video by yours truly. I want to talk to you guys about Brant's value real quick, especially considering that he was quite the polarizing figure in the Wuthering community. People were already just like spazzing out and just over-exaggerating that bro's not going to function if you don't hit a 280 ER, or that his signature weapon is significant increase in damage. I can't believe they're doing this. It was quite a bit of contentious topics in the community surrounding Brant. Another one was he's going to ruin your account. He's gonna ruin it, bro. End the service your account, you pick up Brant. And the final one was he has a bit of an identity crisis. I want to cover every single one of these topics and give you guys as much concrete substance as I can, because admittedly, I think bro's gonna be broken. And so, yeah, let's go ahead and get into it. But real quick, I want to plug in our sponsor for today's video. Huge shout out to the GOGO Muffin team for sponsoring this video. If you haven't heard of it already, it is a fantasy themed MMORPG with idle gameplay features, and it's designed in particular for the mobile device. I want to go over some of the strongest elements it has to offer. And if you didn't know already, it's the same development team behind the Ooh La La idle adventure game. So one of the features I want to get into off the bat is the raid experience. You're able to go into a dungeon with 4 to 6 other players and fight cool bosses like dragons, golems, and rock creatures. If you don't do the proper mechanics, you're just gonna get wiped. You're gonna get clapped, your whole party. You need 2 DPSs, you need a healer, you need a tank, you need all the elements that an MMO game typically has. This was one of the coolest elements of this game that I really enjoyed. Now you might be asking yourself, well, Smack, if this is an MMO, do they have like builds where maybe I can be more survival induced or do more DPS? They actually had a great deal of variety. First of all, you have this thing called a core skill, which is gonna be the bread and butter of the class. And then surrounding that core skill are tactical skills. You got 3 different abilities. I'm using this chakram blade spinning attack. I also have this where I conjure an after image of myself, and now you got 2 different versions of me attacking. There's actually a number of abilities you can get creative with depending on what you want to do. Did I mention you can also summon pets to aid you in battle and give you this cool transformation ability? Each and every one of them have their own unique transformation as well as abilities that can help you during battle. I have a 50% chance to win. Let's do a 10 pull. Bring them home. Come on, give me the streamer's luck. Give me the content creator's luck. Oh, I got a purple. I didn't get him. All right, look, my luck was terrible, but it ain't how you start. It's how you finish. Final 10 pull. It has to shine gold. If it doesn't shine gold, was that what? I couldn't tell. Oh, that's it. Did I get my guy? Oh, we got him. We won the 50-50. That's my little dude. Okay, so you click on this, right? He's a little baby right now, but he actually can transform into that guy down there, which looks pretty sick. But right now, you know, he's a little baby. We got to nurture him. We got to feed him, you know, give him his vitamins. Also, one thing I found unique about this game is you can summon the abilities of your class and get higher rarities of them. In fact, let's do a quick 10 pull just to show you guys what this looks like. The ball turns purple. You got a purple ability or a couple of them. If it turns gold, oh, it turned gold. Oh, boys, hold up, man. We got the content creator's luck right now. What do we get? This one's the gold one. So we got a couple of purples there. Overload state. Upon casting, reduce the cooldown of all your tactical skills by 4 seconds for 8 seconds. I'm trying my hardest to get these skins. You can actually summon for skins. Look at how sick my character looks, bro. I can't wait. One more thing I wanted to mention is you can join a guild. In fact, I'm in one right now. You can chat up. These guys go over here to the guild and there's people conversating right now. And then you can go on expeditions with your guild to level your guild up and get better resources overall. So what are you waiting on? Download GOGO Muffin right now using my link down below in the description box or the pinned comment in the comment section. Thanks again for their team for sponsoring this video. Now let's get back to the content. Okay, so let's go ahead and start off with the energy requirement ordeal. First of all, those are some nice boobs. All right, anyways, now that we got that out the way, the reason brother needs 250 ER is literally because of his best in slot set. If you hit the 250 ER requirement, then you get 30% additive damage bonus. That's very, very important for Brant. The reason it is because Brant almost has no additive damage bonus in his kit. He only has a 15% fusion damage bonus. And which is odd because most of the Wuthering Waves characters actually have a ridiculous amount of additive damage bonus intrinsically built into their kits. Brant's somebody who's intrinsically built in with a shit ton of attack, but a little amount of additive damage bonus. And so on the multiplier, he's starving for it. And so this is very important for him to hit. On the other end, hitting 250 is going to enable you to have very smooth and fluid rotations with spamming Brant's ult. He needs to be in his ult every time he goes back around with the, you know, around the little, what do you call it? The horsey swingy thing. I can't think of it. The ferry wheel? Fucking hell, man. Jesus, smack. Anyways, every time you come back around with his rotation, you want his ult to be back up. I want you guys to use a quick little reference here. Shorekeeper is a perfect example. Both Shorekeeper and Brant have the same exact ultimate cost, which is 175 resonance cost. The thing about my Shorekeeper is she's only sitting at 237, and then once when the resonator on the field is within the effective range of Stellar Realm, Shorekeeper gets another 10 energy, right? That puts her at 247, pretty much 250. Thing about Shorekeeper, she's a perfect benchmark of how you're going to manage Brant's energy and his ult being up. My Shorekeeper's ult, every time she comes back, her ult's up. It never fails. The ult is always up. And get this, her skill has a very long cooldown time. It has a 16-second cooldown time. Brant's skill has a 4-second cooldown time, okay? So it means you're gonna funnel a lot more energy with Brant with the quick swap playstyle. So if you hit 250 with Brant, you're not running into any ultimate problems. Bro is gonna be completely fine. Another thing I would like to mention is with the Overture weapon, going back to her, she's literally a placeholder for my Brant's kit or build. She's sitting at 266.8 energy recharge with a variation that's not even level 90. If we take it to level 90, the Overture, which is the 4-star sword, the free-to-play friendly option for Brant, and the variation have the exact same energy threshold at level 90. That's 51.8, which is about roughly 9 more energy. Actually, no, about 8 more energy roughly. So if we look at this and give it another 8, I'm at 274 energy recharge, and I have, once again, the 4-star Overture weapon. But I will say, I made sure that I had ER on every single piece. I have ER here, 9.2. I have ER here, 9.2. I have ER here, 9.2. I have ER here, 11.6. And then finally, I have 10.8 right here. So I'm one of the people who grinded the hell out of that set. Now, it cost me a lot of wave plates and a lot of failures and a lot of molding and tilting. But I eventually did get me a pretty decent build. The only problem is it has no crit damage. Okay, and we are rocking a double ER. That's how Brant is supposed to be built with the Overture sword. In fact, you may even want to run that double ER main stat, even if you have a SIG, because you didn't get any ER in his substats. If you didn't get any ER in his substats, you're still going to have to run that double ER to make sure you hit the 250 threshold. Now, I want to talk to you guys about 280. People are freaking the hell out, and people have a tendency to do this. And to be fair, I can kind of see where y'all are coming from. Why are you going to put 280 in this maximum attack threshold in the game if I can't achieve it? Well, you literally can achieve it. The problem is it's almost impossible to achieve unless you have maximum ER rolls. It's annoying, I understand that, but it's actually not something you have to achieve. In fact, he only gets 360 more attack from 250 to 280. Some of us, like me, you're going to be at the 274, 265, somewhere around there. Whatever the discrepancy is, you might be thinking 360 attack is a lot of attack. Guys, listen, if I go to my roster, Chang Li has 2,500. Carlotta has 2,000. I'm talking about her attack. 2,000 attack, 2,500 attack, 2,000 attack, 2,000 attack, right? 2,000 attack. You know how much attack Brant has in his ult? If you're rocking the 4-star sword, he has 3,600 attack. Probably a little bit more. I think my Brant actually is going to have close to 4,000 attack. If you have his signature weapon, bro has 4,500 attack, almost 5,000. Like, he has so much attack that getting 360 isn't going to change any fucking thing. Sure, you'll do a little bit more damage, but with that amount of attack, you have severe diminishing returns. That's why it's not a big deal to hit 280 ER. It's cool, but it's really for the mid-maxing nerds who want to have the most crazy and insane Brant of all time. You don't need it at all for him to function. And so now with that out the way, 250 ER is so achievable. The only thing is getting this godforsaken main stat ER with some decent substats. Okay, that is, I'll be honest, it's gonna be a pain in the ass. I almost got a perfect stat here. All I needed was crit damage. This would have been a literal perfect piece, but just try and aim for 1 crit value, 1 ER, and then maybe like a basic attack damage bonus on each set. You're good to go. With that out of the way, the next thing I want to talk to you guys about is his identity crisis. He's somebody who can pretty much heal and shield. So he's a sustainer. He is, but he also deals damage. And so people go like, oh, well, that's not good because you come from the Hoyosphere where the skill ceiling is so goddamn low that if somebody has an identity crisis, you can't make up for that identity crisis with skill expression. They're just pretty much just garbage. Thankfully, in Wuthering Waves, you have insane amounts of skill expression and a very high skill ceiling to even drive that point home even further. In quick swap teams, that is amplified. In quick swap teams, it's all the more true. Brant is a quick swap god, which means his ability to heal and shield, sustain, while also dealing damage is actually broken in this game. Because bro's gonna not only keep your team alive, but he's also gonna be dealing main DPS damage, and he's quick swap friendly, so he's not getting in the way of the other characters. Brother is literally capable of dropping a fucking anchor on your dome while already being off the field, right? So imagine this. He drops the anchor on the dome for 130K, but Chang Li's also in the middle of doing her inflamement for another 100K. And then Carlotta, while those two are doing that, is shooting your head off for fucking 60K a pop. That is constant rotations of ridiculous amounts of damage. Brant is going to be a character that I think is going to raise the meta DPS overall. I think the strongest team in the game will have Brant on it. And that's because of his quick swap absurdity of dealing damage while also sustaining and being very off-field friendly with the rotations. It's all going to come down to each individual Brant player's skill expression and ability to use his kit effectively. So he is going to be a skill issue character. But on the other end of the spectrum, he's a very fun character too. So if you don't care about none of that shit, bro's fun. Unless you don't like floaty characters, or I wouldn't even say he's that. Nah, he's floaty. I'll be honest, he's floaty. But if you don't like floaty characters, sure, then you're the exception. But if you're somebody who doesn't mind like playing with characters in the air, he's probably one of the more meticulous floaty characters because his kit feels really good in the air. He can dodge multiple times after flips. They put a lot of little mechanical intricacies and savviness inside of his floaty kit to where he feels more refined in the air, if that's a way to put it. Now, I wanted to talk to you guys about the signature weapon discussion here, but before we get into that, to drive the point home on how strong Brant is one more time, my Chang Li's at 2,500 attack, right? And that's with one main stat attack percent piece, by the way. Keep that in mind. She's got a multiplier on her ultimate for 1,200%, and I hit with Chang Li for 173,000 damage sometimes. Some people hit for 200K. Hell, it just depends on your Chang Li, but 1,200% multiplier. You know how much Brant's multiplier is at for his enhanced skill, this enhanced skill at level 10? 1,800. 600% higher than this. And you know what his attack is at? If you have the SIG, it's 2,000 more than that. If you don't have the SIG, it's about anywhere from 1,300 to 1,500 more than that. Somewhere around there. Yeah, but I told you, he sits at 3,600 to like almost 4,000 with Overture. With the SIG, he sits at 45, bro. Like, and a little higher depending on your Brant's energy recharge and the sub stats. He hits fucking hard, okay? He really does. And he hits hard as a sustainer. That's what's wild about him. And he's quick swap savvy. So that's the crazy thing about Brant. The final thing is that's not the only damage in his kit. He also has the ult that deals a little bit of damage. It's not crazy. It's almost like a 700% multiplier or something like that. The other thing that's a real sleeper is the same thing that was a sleeper on Camellia. You know, I told y'all a while back that this right here was an insane multiplier, 20 times 25. And then she had one more. I can't remember where the one is, but Camellia had some insane basic attacks. Brant does too. Brant has very similar, ridiculous multipliers on his basic attacks. And once again, bro has 45 fucking 100 attack. And so that's why I'm going to bring this up. I know, don't just listen to me. You don't got to look at all that. Main stat, crit rate, ER, attack, right? This is the same build I just told you. Double ER, one cost attacks. You only have 3 sub stats with 8% energy recharge. Just 3, not all 5, just 3. You have the 4-star Overture, you have the tide-breaking set. This is what his attack's gonna look like outside of his ult, and this is what his attack looks like inside of his ult. What's the damage looking like? 126K with no external buffs at all. The other thing is, he's got 178 crit damage, right? You're going up against a level 100 mob, not a level 90, a 100 mob. This is the middle floor with no buffs from the tower either, by the way. If you were to throw a Sanhua on the team with Brant and give him her basic attack damage bonus, he's going to hit for 173K with that Overture weapon. And if you do Shorekeeper, they have similar buffs, so it's about the same thing. If you were to give him his signature weapon hits for 253k with the Sanwa and 183k without the Sanwa, no external buffs. These are numbers that you see main DPS do. His fucking pirates doing this shit from a healing and sustain roll. And that's just the enhanced skill. I was too lazy to do the basic attacks. But my point is, the guy hits really hard. Now, I want to talk to y'all about, see how much more damage he does with his SIG? 253k? That's insane. Guys, I heard people saying that he does a 30% increase from his SIG to the Overture, next best weapon. And y'all were like, oh, that's predatory. For one, that's the most hypocritical shit I ever heard of, that y'all started complaining about that right now, because guess what? All these fucking characters have ridiculous increases in their percentages. And if you want to sit here and argue about the discrepancies in their percentages, you also have to take into consideration their on-field time. Case in point, let's say Camellia's, and I'm just making numbers up, is a 20% increase. There's a dipshit out there who goes, Brant's is a 30%. That's so much worse. Brant's not on the field nowhere near as long as a Camellia is on the field. So his 30% ain't the same as a 20% that's on the field 3 times as long. You have to take into consideration so many variables when you look at a signature weapon increase in performance, because it's not just 30%. For an example, the 360 attack, that's not a same efficacy of increase on Brant that it would be on a character with 2000 attack. It's the same concept of his signature being increased in percentage versus everyone else, because bro's not on the field as long as they are. So once again, we freak out about things without actually assessing them correctly. I would like to end this video off with letting you guys know that I think Brant's a pretty broken fucking character, and you will find that out when people with capable skill get a hold of Brant. I really do. I really think you guys will. And if I'm wrong, I'll get on here and say I was wrong. But guess what, guys? I'm never wrong. Yeah, I might be an asshole, but I'm never wrong, boys. We're gonna see what happens. That's gonna wrap up my video. Peace, love, and happiness. I'll catch you guys on the flip side. I'm out.